Welcome back, troglodytes, to part 2 of this basket case mystery. Alright, so the first step here that I'm going to do is I'm going to polish up this headstock, see if it'll look any better, as well as address these frets, make them look a little shinier. Hopefully they will play alright, as well as get this fretboard conditioned and see if it can hold string tension or not. Alright, so after just a first pass of a little bit of goo gone, I think the headstock cleaned up pretty nicely. I think it might be serviceable after some polishing. Now we'll use a little bit of this Virtuoso cleaner here. Now we have some Virtuoso polish. Alright, so all said and done, it looks a little bit better. Unfortunately, what these streaks are is it almost looks like the finish melted a little bit, or those are just very fine chips to the finish. So I think this thing would need a new clear coat over it to erase these other lines. However, I don't think I'll be doing that. I think I like the Gibson logo the way it looks. We'll just leave this as it is. Next, we're going to condition the fretboard and make the frets look nice and shiny again and see what we can do here. I'm just using a really fine grade of steel wool for this process. Alright, the only issues I found were on the 13th, 14th, and 15th frets. You can see they have these small little divots on them. Those can sometimes catch when you're bending your note, and those are in a not so good location. So to get this thing back up to 100% tip-top playing shape, I would suggest the level and recrown job. You can see you've got quite a bit of fret wear up here. I mean, you might even want to refret it if you want some taller frets, but I think these definitely have some life to them. Now we'll go ahead and do the lemon oil treatment. I just use this Dunlop 65 stuff. It works pretty well. Now that I've got some oil on it, you can easily see there is a very fine crack running all the way up the fretboard here. I'm not sure if that's going to cause us any difficulties. That's most likely truss rod related, but we will have to see if this thing can hold string tension or not. But for now, we'll let this dry and we'll clean the body up a little bit. So now we can start to see some of the beauty this guitar has. I like these strange dots from whatever they were caused by. And whenever these long lines are, they almost kind of look like mineral streaks. They're definitely not, but this guitar definitely has a very interesting road-worn vibe to it. I think the finish checking and scratching is going to look really good if this thing can hold string tension. Alright, so what this neck pickup cavity looks like to me is somebody added some like wood filler or something on the back to give it some strength, but now I can't actually get this mini humbucker in here. It sits up too high. I'm guessing a lower profile P90 might still fit though. I don't have any of those right now, so I'm going to try to wire this up as a Les Paul Jr. with this in the bridge pickup. I'm actually going to be able to get away without even using a base plate because that's really stuck in there. Our fretboard's had the oil on long enough, so I'm going to wipe off the excess now. Alright, so that's actually looking pretty good. I had a lot of comments last time saying the only usable part on this thing would be the fretboard. I'd kind of agree. You could reuse this fretboard on something else. I kind of bought this one thinking even if it can't be strung up and played again, I could at least chop the headstock off and have this as like a decoration or something. Or even just the whole guitar as a wall hanger. But hopefully we're going to be able to make this a little bit more than that. So now I'm going to put some tuners on this thing. I have kind of an error correct Flying V type tuner. So we'll go ahead and throw these on for now and see how they work out. Okay, so now we've got some tuners on it. Let's string it up. Alright, so worst case scenario here, the neck just snaps. I guess we'll find out. Okay, so we got strings on it without the neck snapping, so that's a good thing. It's a little buzzy, but so far it seems like this might still be a viable instrument. A little hard to tell, but for the most part the neck seems like it's still straight. I think it's just from the uneven sanding that it looks like the treble side is a little bit higher, but for the most part I think we're okay.
Alright, so now I'm going to try to wire this up. I am very terrible with wiring, but I'm hoping I can get this thing to make at least some sort of sound.
So after attempting to have a volume and a tone, I just gave up. And then maybe I thought, well, maybe I could just get one volume pot. It's in the tone position because I just didn't have enough wire on the output jack to get it to the normal position. So you can see here that I just put a metal jack plate on there. I mean, it does stick out quite a bit, as you can see here. Now, I guess something else I could have done is I could have moved this to like the top of the guitar, since I have all these extra holes, but I like this side output jack a lot better. So it's a very shoddy wiring job, but hey, let's go ahead and see if it works. Alright, so now that I have a playable instrument, I'm going to try to clean up the back a little bit. This neck feels a little sticky and gringy, so I'll try to clean this up as well, and we'll see if we can make this look a little bit better now. Alright, so what's actually on here is a bunch of like masking tape, so I think I could probably sand this out to be a little bit nicer looking, so let's go ahead and give this a try. Okay, so it's not perfect, but it's a lot more smoother feeling now. It looks like what happened here is somebody put like some Bondo or something to try to cover up the routes that they exposed. So I think the wood was really missing there or something. But a lot of this is just leftover tape residue. I think if I had a machine to plane this down level, I would definitely do that, because then you'd get this beautiful mahogany look like you can see up on the neck. So this guitar definitely has some potential on the back, but nobody really ever sees it anyways. So I'm not going to waste any more effort on the back. I think it looks fine enough as it is. Alright, so all said and done, it weighs 5 pounds 8.6 ounces. Alright, so overall, this guitar, I am very happy that I took the risk on this because I think it is a playable guitar. Do I think this thing has a lot of value left in it? No. I mean, now that I've seen the husk in person and I know you can string it up, I mean, it's not the best playing in the world. It has some buzziness to it, but I think a really good setup would also cure some of that. I think there's definitely potential left in this guitar. I mean, I have $85 in the husk. I have, maybe $80 here with the pickup wiring and the wrap tail, and around $100 to $150 in these vintage tuners. Honestly, I think some newer tuners would be a lot nicer because these are a little stiff. They're definitely from the 70s, but I think it retains the original look of this guitar for the most part. So is this thing a piece of garbage that I'm going to burn and use as a boat paddle for your guys' entertainment? No, I don't think so. I think this thing definitely has a life left for someone. Even if you're just a student learning, I think a guitar like this still has a purpose. I know a lot of people were quick to judge this thing on the Would You Rock or Not series, but I'm definitely glad I bought this one. So we'll take a quick final look here. We've got some chipped lacquer on the headstock. That's not just paint runs or anything. The truss rod, I'm too scared to even touch that thing. I don't think it would do anything. The frets, they do show some wear, but the fretboard is in good shape for the most part. Now, unfortunately, this neck pickup cavity route, it doesn't work for a mini humbucker with the ring. However, I think if I had a P90 laying around, it would still kind of work. But as of right now, I'm just kind of rocking it as a junior. This is still usable. I don't think those are actually cracks. Those are just kind of chips in the paint with kind of slight impressions, so almost a crack, but I don't think you'd have any issues trying to use that. You've got some beautiful finish checking and just dents and dings from being abused over the years. You've got 3 holes on the top here. You could move this output jack to the front, but I like it better on the side. But you do have it kind of sticking out quite a ways, so that kind of gives you an idea of just how thin this body is. It really is just like a custom light. So the sides of the guitar are fairly clean, but you do kind of have some of that tape residue, especially at the bottom here. You could probably clean some of that off. Your strap button holes are still present. You can see the wood is slightly cracking there where that is, but I think you could still put buttons in there if you desired. But this thing has definitely seen a rough life. Somebody got a little bit too sand happy. They took the back end too far, really destroyed this guitar, and sanded down the neck to reveal the truss rod. Now, it is still playable. I mean, you can feel the truss rod while you're playing, but you're not going to get splinters playing this thing. It just kind of feels like you have a really pointed V-shaped neck. So, I mean, you can kind of use that as an anchoring device if you would wish. So again, no, I don't think this is a piece of garbage. I think this can still bring joy to someone. I know I would love to take this thing out on stage. So I hope you troglodytes enjoyed this little adventure with this guitar, and who knows, maybe one day I'll soup this up and make it even better. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Take care.